buddies? It's the Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
I'm Ron Bennington, and I have a non-drinking hangover from last night's big Thanksgiving show.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I woke up this morning. That's the first thing I said. I'm like, I feel like I have a hangover. My head is pounding. It was like our late night crazy just turned into hangover this morning.
Well, we were on stage for almost 3 hours straight. All kinds of moving things, all kinds of great guests. Ends with an explosion of hip-hop that nobody was expecting. It was just one of the funnest nights that you could ever have. Everybody was on. We do the big Thanksgiving show every year at the Hard Rock. Hard Rock Johnny has invited us in. For the last 6 years, we've been there. And I don't know, everybody has this thing about competing against the year before.
Yeah.
You know? And damn, if we didn't pull it off this year. It's just so much fun.
Honestly, it was one of my biggest joys, just looking out at the audience, and every time we would bring out another guest or we would do another segment, just like watching everybody laugh. And then, of course, that ending, I think that nobody saw coming, was just like the most fun way to end the night. I had a blast, and I'm so glad everyone I hung out with, met, some people I met for the first time. It was just such a great night.
I don't understand how this just keeps going on like this. Because there is a lot. I mean, Chris's pressure was through the roof because obviously he wants it to be better every single year. And for some reason, he takes that on. So when I got there, he was like completely nuts. Yeah. But then there was I'll give a, you know what? We're going to give away all this stuff today because of the internet.
Yeah.
It's going to be out there anyway.
It would have happened anyway.
So the idea was for Chris Stanley to do his big hit song that he recorded this year, which you have never performed live before, right?
No, I have not. No, anywhere.
So it's the Big Creeps with Kids song, and so I get there. You had to check into a hotel room, so I got there before you, and I saw the first run through on this, and it was so bad that I couldn't believe it, and I'm standing in the back going, first of all, they didn't have the sound worked out. Second, I don't think Chris ever told us that he auto-tuned that song.
Right.
Because he wasn't carrying a tune, and he's throwing himself into it, and it is so funny and bad. So then he's like, redo it. You know what I mean? Like, he's really, like, he gets that it's not working. He's not like one of these American Idol guys who thinks it's working out. So he's screaming, redo it.
Neil, again.
And then he was on it 3 or 4 times, and it just is going nowhere and nowhere fast. It's just god awful. And then I go walking up during the last one, and he goes like this. That was shit, but I'm going to kill it on the show. Like, he's so fucking, like, just gritting his teeth at me, and I'm not saying anything back to him. Because I couldn't possibly say, if you did it 100 times better, it wouldn't be any good.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah. Doing that walkthrough and that sound check, I
mean, you know, a sound check is an empty room as it is, and the fucking staff is walking around, and you know what I mean? Sure. Like, you're not going to get any feedback from any, like, there's something about these places. I've been doing this theater tour with the Creeps, and you could tell, like, they see the act as being in the staff's way, most of these places. And they tell you, is there anything you need? And fucking every single time there's sound or lighting that you're like, can we change this? And you just see the look on their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just walked into their home and asked them to move their couch and their TV. The entire night, I have to say this. The opening of the show with our producers, the Leasty Boys. They threw themselves into this thing so hard.
It's one of my favorite moments of the whole night.
Now,
It's like up there for sure.
this was the thing that I really loved about it. Cypher Sounds, we got him to DJ this thing, and he's a big DJ, travels all over the world. He does everything for Chappelle. Plus, then he'll go and work fucking these giant rap shows, right? So he's seen everything in his career. I mean, his career is nuts in every weird direction that he's gone. And also, in that world, the hip-hop comedy world, Cypher's never smoked a joint or had a beer.
Wow, really? I
I don't know how he makes it through that fucking world. He just was a little bit on his heels, just looking at these three white guys, the 2.5 white guys with Earl there. Just like, what the fuck is this? Like, he was amused. He didn't find it hilarious, and he didn't find it upsetting.
Yeah.
He was slightly amused, and he stayed that way. Yeah, looking at that. And then when he came out and did the Creep song, like, you would be like, I'm not sure if this Creeps with Kids song, they realize how much it sounds like Old Town Road. You know what I mean? It was so funny. So we had that happen. The Creeps came out with their kids, and that was hysterical and just a fucking madhouse. There was like literally a madhouse on stage. Then we did the dating game, the old-fashioned dating game with Chip Chipperson, who at the very last moment said, here's my intro, would you read it for me? And that was fucking, you know what I mean?
So funny.
That was something just to make it through that. And then we did the match game, and that was a fucking... I mean, that was just giant joke after giant joke after giant joke.
Those panelists were ridiculous.
Dan Soder, who's got a brand new special coming out. Bonnie McFarlane, who's, you know, the funniest writer in the whole world. She's a great director, producer, stand-up comic. Big J. Okerson, who I believe is the only person who's done all these shows with us.
Yeah.
Then we brought Cypher over. We did Kashmir was on there.
Yep.
Killed it. I mean, literally, Cypher and Kashmir destroyed.
They did. They
And
absolutely did.
The funniest fucking human being I know, Dave Attell, is on that panel. So this whole thing is just murdering. I mean, we're just setting these guys up for joke after joke after joke. Every joke is hitting it hard. And then as we end the show, we bring out our musical act of the night. And Vito has been working on this for months and months and months. Somehow the word never got out.
Yeah.
I don't know how it didn't leak, or one of us just mistakenly say it, but Naughty by Nature came out, did their 3 hits. The fucking crowd lost their shit.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I cannot tell you. I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, I'm on the side of the stage and they're like up there killing it and so much fun. But I can't not watch the audience because the audience was having so much fun, and to see everyone's faces and their hands in the air singing all the lyrics, like it was really, really surreal. That we just were able to like pull off just like the best party environment ever.
I know.
It was so fun.
It was so fucking crazy by the end of that show. Not only were they losing their shit, but a lot of comics were like fucking screaming at me while that was going on. Like, how did you fucking do this, man?
Yeah. Yeah, the comics.
This is my fucking high school jam. I'm like, easy, man. Because, you know, it's nothing to me. You know what I mean? It's nothing to me. I can't even slightly relate. But I would look out, and the audience was like, it was either people really enjoying it and having fun. Some like, oh, this is really fun. I can't believe this is happening. Some ironically raising their hands in the air. And then other people losing their shit.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing is, like, whatever you're doing in comedy, there's something about music that you can't help it. It takes it to another level. You know what I mean? Nothing to me is better than a laugh, but the way people will react
Yeah.
during music is always funny to me.
Also, the way people react when they hear the simple songs they know,
Right.
which is the funniest thing ever. But they get so pumped when they're seeing somebody live and they're like, I know this.
I know this, and they're doing the call, and I'm going to do the response to it.
It was such a party, man.
It
really
was really, really great. Chris Stanley, unbelievable that, such great comedy guest. And then, of course, ended that way. I know Tracy was a big help with all that.
Yeah.
Tracy was
Tracy's great.
unbelievable, and she was able to hook us up with Naughty by Nature, and even initially when we said, "Oh, we think that we can pull this off,"
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this really going to happen?" Because it didn't really seem possible.
Dude, up to the last minute, I was saying, is this even good? Is this a positive thing? You know what I mean? Like, is
Totally.
this... And Vito was like, dude, I saw these guys in Montreal. Everyone lost their shit for it. And I'm like, but did they? Is that because we were at a festival, or
Right.
is it going to happen? Because you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how about just everyone we talked to at the end of the night? Everybody brought up Naughty by Nature.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody there said, this was great, and it's so great to meet you guys. And fucking Naughty by Nature? Everybody said that.
Big J was like, what a get, man. I can't believe I'm fucking going to see this. And then I'm like, really? Okay. I think I even put him in the intro. He said it was the greatest night of his life, which I might have taken it up a notch. But Jay and Christine were just so fucking happy with it. Homie and Diane fucking went full Bronx on me. I mean, they went full fucking Bronx. They were doing some kind of a weird fucking slide back and forth that I guess is a positive. And those dudes, the fucking funny thing about it is, and I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know where it came from. But the fucking weed aroma before that show even started. And then I'm like, I don't know how these guys are going to be. And then they just fucking came out and fucking hit it. Man.
Yeah.
They went fucking crazy.
Hey, Ashley in New Jersey.
Hey, guys. How are you?
How's it
Hey,
going?
Adam.
It's going awesome. The show last night was amazing. My dad and I went. We've been listening to the show forever. You guys really remind us of ourselves, and it was amazing to be in the audience last night. And Gail, your face during Naughty by Nature was awesome to watch you, because you were just in the moment and just loving it, and it was so great. It really was. It was a great kickoff to the holidays, and it was just awesome. Everything was great. The Leasty Boys, they were fantastic.
That was hilarious.
I did have an observation about Chris Stanley during the Leasty Boys. He didn't really know the words to the song. Right?
No, we noticed that.
Yeah.
He
Seems like some
also
people love
mimed masturbation.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, he did. I mean, Chris couldn't have thrown himself into it anymore, and he's
he
not.
was very into it.
He's not a. He didn't even set himself up to ever be a live performer. You know what I mean?
Oh, and yet here you are, Chris.
Yeah.
The first thing that he ever did with us, you were supposed to, you were an intern, and you were supposed to be hitting the 360.
I was running match game at Dave's wedding. That's the first thing.
All right, so this is when Dave's, and we did a match game there, and it was fucking hilarious. Norton was in it. I forget who else. Was Kumi in it? There was
Yes.
a lot of fucking really funny people. So he was supposed to hit the fucking wrong or correct, right? And I'm fucking doing this thing, and I keep hearing that the wrong thing is going off. You know what I mean? There's the bell when it's wrong. There's the buzzer when it's right. I turn around and I go, what the fuck is wrong with you, kid? Because, he's the intern. And as I'm saying it, his knees are giving out and his head is rolling back and forth. I'm like, what do you have the flu? You know what I mean? And he had never been in front of that many people.
No, not
before.
never.
Sure.
So the whole thing, and I'm like, this isn't about you. Just fucking hit the yes and the no.
Oh, God.
And now there he is, a Leasty boy.
I know. Look at him.
What's funny about Chris when he does that, his little legs are so stiff, but
I
he's
know.
going like a linebacker. You ever see a
know.
linebacker run in place and then commit?
He does something with his legs that I've never seen people use for
Thank you.
dance. I've never seen anyone dance like that.
I think it's some good dance moves.
It was fucking.
You're a unique dude.
You know what? It's smart for you to be like, I'm going to be ironic about this, but he wanted it. You know what I mean? He fucking wanted it. I mean, the natural, of course, is Earl Douglas, which, by the way, this almost made me fucking faint. Earl wearing red?
Yeah.
I've known him for 20 fucking years. I've never seen him in another fucking color. Dude, you should be fucking wearing neon. You look great.
Yeah. You really pop.
Thank you. That was Vito's idea to have everyone look like the Beastie Boys, and I got the Stuyvesant shirt.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. It was more jarring than you would think.
No.
To see him in a color of any kind.
It was fucking crazy to me to see him in red.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's weird.
Like, that could have been just the only thing that happened all night. And I would have come back and said, I think I was at the most amazing show of my life.
There were a couple of you were like, I didn't recognize it. It was like, wait, was that Earl? I was like, but he's wearing red.
It was
He's like,
so
you would never
weird.
wear anything like that.
Why do you just wear black, dude?
I
You look great in red.
Yeah,
I
you
love
did.
the color, and don't tell my mother that, because she'll have me in all types of colors.
What are you, 5?
No, but when I was in college when I started doing it, and I was wearing red, and she was like, "Why you stop wearing red? You look good in red." And I would wear, because I was red and blue all the time.
Bloods or Crips, you gotta pick one though.
By the way,
You can't be both.
Randy wrote to us, I admit this 40-something Jew lost his shit last night when Naughty by Nature played. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
A lot of people. And
That's the thing that would surprise you is people that you wouldn't imagine be fans of them or just throw themselves into that moment. 100% were.
Yes. I didn't know that many people. I thought it was almost like the songs were closer to being parody at the time. You know what I mean? I'm down with OPP. I thought that was a joke song. You know what I mean? Because I remember they said it was other people's property, other people's pussy.
Other people's pussy.
I remember when that happened. And I'm like, oh, so they're just fucking around. They're not serious. You know?
Hey, Jeff in New Jersey.
Hey, buddies. How's it going?
Cool, man.
Hey, I was there last night. It was my third time being there. And like you said, I don't know how you guys do it, but you topped it again. I was 2 rows from the stage when that stage came up, and Naughty by Nature was there. I was one of the people losing my shit as well.
Now, this is the funny thing, too.
You.
There was like a pause because Gail announces them, but I saw the audience kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, because they'd already seen the Leasty Boys.
Right. So is this going to be them dressed
can you
up like
top
Naughty
that?
by Nature? Yeah, 100%. I'm sure that like people started to react, but yeah, you're right. People were kind of looking as the curtain was rising. Like, are they really going to be there, or who is this going to be?
Yeah.
I thought I was
Naughty by
dreaming. I
Nature.
couldn't believe it.
And it was literally like a thing where their set built instead of being like, oh, we're so excited to see them and watching them.
Yeah.
You know, 5 minutes into it, people were crazier than they were 2 minutes into it.
Yeah. And the other thing is they did, 3 hit songs for us. I think everyone kind of thought they were going to do their first song and then that be it. And it was like you got to see like a mini best of hits by Naughty by Nature.
If you were going to their concert, those would have been the 3 you would want them to do.
Right. Exactly.
And like some people said to me, they were like, I never would have went to their show, but that was amazing. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, that's the fun thing about doing variety. You see David Tell, but he's not doing the David Tell thing.
Right.
He's in this other world, and then you're like, oh, he's really fucking funny at that. Look who it is. It's the guy who makes it happen every year. And it was really, I'll be honest about going in a hip-hop direction. It was really Jim and Hard Rock Johnny who brought that up in that meeting, because we were saying, you know, when we have a band, it takes up all the room.
We don't get to normally use the stage. We actually got to play with the whole stage for the first time.
Well, it was great. We got to use the curtain and all, because normally we just have the band set up behind there. And then, they started going through all their favorite fucking hip hop at that thing. Naughty by Nature's name come up, and I'm like, I don't know, really? I'm gonna be totally honest. I wasn't on board at the beginning, and I wasn't on board until it worked. And then I started to saying, people I know, wasn't that fucking great?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's up, Johnny?
Hello, Bennington.
Fun night, buddy, again.
That was such a fun night.
I tell you how any of them get to do for years.
Oh, Johnny,
I
you're
can't
gonna have
believe
to.
this. Your phone's sucking, Johnny.
You gotta call us back. It's breaking up. All right, call us back, Johnny.
We've never had that problem with him before.
I know he's normally clean.
Yeah, I remember that meeting so well that Jim and Johnny were like, wouldn't this be fucking great? And I was like, kind of, I guess. I mean, do you think we can get, because this is out of any connections that we have. And then Vito was the one who hooked us up with Tracy. He was like, yeah, we can do something. And there would be like a few names spinning around. And then they're like, well, should we pursue this one or should we pursue that one? And I'm like, how the fuck would I know? How would I have any idea which one of these names is any better? Can you get the Fat Boys?
All right, we got Johnny back. Hey, Johnny.
Sorry about that, kid. That was, it was always, as always, my favorite thing I do at that building every single year was last night. It's fun, it's stressful, it's amazing, and it always ends up being so good. And last night was just even gooder, if that's a word.
Even gooder.
Even gooder.
Even gooder. And you're right, like it was weird. Like I thought about it towards the end. I'm like, this is literally the meeting that we sat down in that boardroom and had. And it was like, this is it. Like,
I'll tell you though, like it was really fun getting to play with the whole stage and do like, we played all these really great games through the night, and to actually do like proper game show setup stuff like that was really, really fun. It was fun. We had tons of set changes and costume changes and curtain calls and all that kind of shit. It was so great.
It did worked out so well, and I do have to say, I mean, I know Chris and I have a running thing with this, but it was great to be. Chris came down and we looked and we walked through things, and we worked together and had. I know you guys said he was talking some shit behind my back, and we'll talk about that another time. But to be able to work with everybody and kind of make it end up looking really, really good at the end of the day was kind of really amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy.
Thank you. I thank you for allowing me to be part of that thing and just making it go. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was really funny because we would be like halfway through this and people are like, are you having fun? And I'm like, I don't, you know what I mean? I got so much more to do.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Like, anytime somebody would say to me backstage, like, how's it going? I'm like, I don't have time yet.
No talking.
Yeah. I think we probably did the most amount of kind of just different cues and into different segments than we've ever done.
So many
it was
parts.
like it was a full variety show. It was really, really fun
it was.
experience.
And there is
it wasn't really fun until like right now.
Oh no.
The most fun about this show is right now.
I know. After it was over, Chris was in such a dark, exhausted mood, and I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah.
Because you work on something for a long time.
Exactly. We've all been putting it together for so long. Then you're coming off of the adrenaline of the actual night.
Yeah.
And it was just like a full-on crash. I honestly think that's probably why we all have like hangover headaches today.
Yeah, Chris, you guys all left, and Chris and I were sitting in the green room, like, just randomly eating things that were left on a table and talking.
We were snacking.
I'll have some of these Doritos. I'll have these 2 cheese cubes. And then, I mean, we were just sitting there, like, I was just trashed. Like, and I don't drink or do anything anymore. And I felt this morning when I woke up to go back to work. I was hungover. I felt it. You're right.
Yeah. All right, I got this thing from Runtbug, who everybody has signed this poster except for Earl. Were you on the signing line?
I believe he was the first person on the signing line, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on the signing line.
He was second. He was first, then we moved Chris from standing basically in the coat check room to the beginning. And so Earl was number 2.
I did note I was next to Earl. I did notice Earl was kind of spacing out at times, and I was like looking at him as I was nudging him. Sign.
I don't know why we don't pre-sign those posters.
We got them in later this year than we usually do, but yeah, we wanted to. But
We were standing around for an hour. We could have signed all the posters. Because when you got to do that and pose at the same
I know,
time,
it's difficult.
somebody's always feeling left out, and people are trying to talk to you and stuff. It was so much. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I kept my streak of not getting a signed poster for the 6th year, I believe it is, this year, so it's good. I've yet to get one. I don't know
Yet
why.
to get one.
Come on,
I've
Chris.
delivered them now.
Honestly, I just maybe I don't want to wait in line at the end of the show. I don't know. I'm not
He's
sure
a
what
big fucking deal. He shouldn't have to wait
Yeah,
in line.
come
He
on,
should be
Chris.
first. My apologies, Johnny.
It's not your fault. No,
Probably is.
no, it was great.
Chris, remember when you saved my lipstick?
I
They
remember
cleared
that.
that table so fast, and everything like got broke down. I turned around, I'm like, my lipstick, it's Glossier. And Chris
good
was
Was that
like,
a big
stuff.
deal?
I've got it right here.
It was so much fun, Johnny. Thanks,
Thank you
buddy.
so much.
Peace.
You were so great, and Hard Rock Vic, of course, as always, the most essential part of the night.
Hard Rock Vic.
It was funny. He said to me, he's like, I was like, good to see you again. Thank you as always for your help. And he was just like, I don't know if we've officially met before, but I'm Vic. And I was like, believe me, I know who you are, Vic. You're a very big deal around here.
You're the guy who fucking Earl acts like is bigger than Johnny.
Love you, Johnny. Thanks so much for
Love you
another great
guys.
show.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye, Johnny.
There was a thing where everybody was just sending the emails back and forth about how great it went. And then Earl writes in the emails, I want to thank Chris and Vito for keeping me on the details. And I'm like, what is that? What details?
No, they just keep me on point on just the smaller details.
But it seems like that was almost an insult. It's like,
was.
thanks for hounding me.
No, not at all. They did a fantastic job. They did a fantastic
Well, we
job.
didn't know what the details meant. That's what we're saying.
No, just all those little things,
Which
whether it's
one? Name me a little thing.
just making sure that, I don't know, like, do we have enough Sharpies? Do we have enough this? Do we have enough that?
So you were on the Sharpies. Well, you were right. We had enough Sharpies.
Yeah, there was enough.
And they filled
I
you
had
in
a-
on the Sharpie details.
I had a black and a silver. So thank you for that.
That's that detail work.
Can
Ron.
I just to bring up a little detail, something that Vito and I discussed. A lot of times we're signing a black poster, and so you need
Yeah.
the silver Sharpie. This time, white poster, so we got to use black Sharpies. The quality difference is unbelievable. A black Sharpie actually, you know how those silver Sharpies
They die
die in
quick.
a second, and we would be sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
going through them and just having to throw
It seems
them
the
out.
Sharpie company only really cares about the black Sharpie. And
Well, what you don't understand is silver. It's very difficult to get your hands on.
it's actual silver at the Sharpies.
Hey, look who we've got on the line. It's Lou. Hey, Lou.
Hey, Bennington.
How are
Great
you?
night last night. That was awesome.
That was so fantastic, and I'm so glad I got to see you at the end.
so much. I have to say, the beginning of the show with Juju coming out, just standing there in front of the audience was so cute.
That
and
was-
so
Honestly,
funny.
obviously we knew we were gonna bring her out. But even for me, it was such a shock. She got there very late because, so we didn't run through how we were gonna do
Yeah.
it, and the visual of just hands coming out of the curtain and dropping her, and her just looking out like
Her just
what
standing there
the-
was
She was so stunned.
Yeah.
it was amazing.
She's not used to seeing audiences.
No, she's not. To be honest, it was not easy for her at 3 months old,
Yeah.
15 months old, different experience, but still, I think a little unsettling.
The most applause she normally gets is just from me. And I go crazy for her, whatever she does.
It was so crazy. Well, it's better than what I had to do with my daughter. I had to explain after that Chip Chipperson dating game what an orgasm was on the way home.
Oh, my God.
So that was a fun ride home.
But that's good. It
Yeah,
kind of makes it easy to talk to your kids, and I'm glad that we could provide that.
And by the way, her daughter's 38, so it's sad.
Oh, Jesus,
The other
no.
day it's sad. How old is your daughter?
13.
She
Now,
is so cute.
She's adorable.
She loves you guys.
But the cute thing about her is she was like, "Yeah, man, we should be staying in New York. There's so much
she
to
wanted
do.
to stay. She
You know what I
loves
mean?
it there.
We get a hotel because the energy is amazing." I'm like, "I know, dude."
We have cows out back, so it's different life. for
That's so
sure.
cute, though, right?
really, really
Yeah,
adorable.
Yeah. Well, she's got something.
Well-
She got two things to look forward to now.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for another. Well, yeah, hopefully. I cross my fingers.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I explained it okay. I don't know. Hey, thanks again for a great night last night. It was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Thank you,
So
Lou. It was
much
so
fun.
good to
Creeps
see
for
you.
kids. I'll see you at Creeps for Kids.
All right,
bye.
see you, creeps.
Take
Bye.
care.
By the way, there's a pre-sale going on for Creeps coming into Manhattan now. 2 shows at the Gramercy Theater, which is a very fun, cool kind of a rock theater that we've done stuff at before. So you want to go to Bennington's show on Twitter for the pre-sale code. Get your pre-sale code. And then the Creeps are in Torrington, Connecticut. And Warner Theater. No, that's the Warner Theater in Torrington, and then the Troy Savings Music Hall in Troy, New York. This is 2 towns I've never even been to before.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing you're like getting a Americana tour, I feel.
Well, what I'm trying to do is buy some winter clothing at non-New York City prices.
Oh, very smart.
Yeah.
That is very smart.
Because I was freezing this morning. I'm going through the closet going, summer, summer, summer.
Yep.
This winter hit us out of nowhere. Just last night, it dropped like 20 degrees in an hour and a half. Everybody outside was freezing. I stopped outside to have a smoke. My hand almost froze off.
Yeah. It's weird because it's a very strange thing. Every Thanksgiving show, it is like a freezing cold night. It
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
happens I don't think we've ever had a warm Thanksgiving show where like, oh, this is cool.
No.
It worked out. But last night might have been our coldest one yet.
No, it isn't
I
even
mean,
a
it
matter
was
of might have.
crazy.
Yeah. When I turned on the weather last night, the weatherman was crying.
Oh, God.
He goes, I don't even know what this means, man. I don't know if we're coming back. They go, when's it going to warm up? He goes, he is like, we're off the charts right now. Because I've studied weather for 13 years. I never saw anything like this. They had the coldest day, November day, in Chicago, right?
Yeah,
That shouldn't
that's-
happen.
No,
I mean,
that's not good.
Chicago, the cold records, you shouldn't even be able to touch them. That's like Pete Rose's hit record. You know what I mean? No one's going to get that opportunity again. Why do you think they call him the fucking hit king? Because he didn't get a bunch of hits? No, just the opposite. Am I forgetting anything, Chris? Is there any thank yous to go out? Is there stuff we need to do?
I think we gave all the thank yous out, and on the show, we thank everyone. We want to thank Christine. Want to thank
Christine who?
Evans.
Oh, well, say why. She was the one who helped us with Attell, which was right up the
Yeah.
last second.
So
And
glad
let me tell you this. Attell is so weirdly funny.
There's no one in the world like him, man. He's so unbelievably funny.
And it's so weird. Like, I see so many stand-ups, and I'm like, oh, that guy is great. But then when you just see Attell, it's like fucking Clapton or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the craziness of how he's able to come in with those jokes.
I know.
And then to turn around and see the comedians just fucking falling out.
They adore him.
Yeah, of course they do. Because they know how hard it is to write jokes. And then he's fucking just nailing it.
Hey, look who we've got. It's Johnny Go-Go.
Going to a go-go. The Johnny Go. Never saw Johnny Go-Go all night.
Me either.
No, I threw a smoke bomb. I said to my wife, if the musical act is someone we don't love, we're gonna skip out of here. And then they came on. She's like, "Sit your ass down."
Oh, good.
I was like, all right. Hey, two things. One, all these comedians are really funny acts, right? They're all great stand-up. But when you see how fast some of these guys are, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it is just crazy. The other one was Stalker Patty sitting next to the adult film star. It looked like two different species.
I know. I love that. Literally, it was like 3 different species because Claire was so adorable and sweet.
Claire
Right,
Parker
she's
was
like
great.
normal, fun, perfect, great.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was dealing with the girl in the middle, and then Patty, who's just lovable, right? And then my wife texted me today, old fashioned, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with
It
that.
was
Yeah.
so hilarious.
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned.
That was the cutest thing I've
The
ever heard
cutest.
anyone say.
Yeah.
And then I tried to get her to go on, and she was just like, just old fashioned.
By the way, Patty might have been the second. But it was Earl, Eddie Trunk, and Patty were the 3 people that I met when I came to New York first. Right?
Yeah.
Patty, I had no idea. I'm like, is she a big wheel here? She was at the reception desk every fucking day. And she would be like, great show yesterday. And I'm like, oh, thank you very much. You know what I mean? Like, this fucking thing's catching on good. That lady who's in reception is telling me I'm doing well. You know, because when you come to New York, you're like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Right.
You know? And now, 20 years later, I know those 3 people. You know what I mean?
We've kept the same friends.
Yeah, well, friends gets looser after Earl, but yeah, I guess so. Thanks so much, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon.
Peace. So much fun last night. If you get the opportunity, I mean, we met so many people who flew in from different places too, just for the show. Because I'm like, what else you do in New York? And they're like, nothing. I'm coming in and out just to see the show.
So many people told me that. So many people said they flew in across the country and they're headed out today.
It's fucking really, really cool, man. It was a great event to do. For Hard Rock Johnny to say it's his favorite event of the year, I mean, you got to understand how many events those guys do, because that crew of his just moves. I mean, they basically are like a theater union crew. You know what I mean? There's no difference there. It's like they have the same skills as somebody at a Broadway theater.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't believe how those guys can just make shit out of nothing, move things.
And honestly, the crew we brought in, I thought did a really great job.
Yeah,
Chris
Connor.
did some delegating, which is out of his his
wheelhouse.
character.
Well, you know, when I went for the thank yous, all we got was Christine Evans, so I thought she was the only one who really came through.
Well, there was also Connor, our former intern Connor.
He did great.
Carly.
Carly, honestly, was one of the most essential people on the crew.
Yeah.
I went to her and she had answers for me, cards, everything for the entire night. She never had to be told to do anything twice. She was just like perfect.
Yeah, she's great,
love
man.
that kid.
She's
so
great.
much.
She's always been great. Too.
Yeah.
And Andy and Vinay also.
Yeah.
Vinay, I just saw standing around. And then he said to me, and I was so happy to hear, he goes, during the Naughty by Nature craziness, I go, did you ever hear these guys? He's like, absolutely not. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, thank you, Vinay.
you had to be around in the 90s in order to enjoy them.
How long were they big? What was it, like a year, 2 years?
I'd say probably like 92 to 97.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
Yeah.
No wonder they have that attitude. It's a strange name for men to have, Naughty by Nature.
You know what? It is strange, and you know what I always think of it? It seems almost English. Like Americans don't even use the term naughty much. Like the British
You're
like
naughty.
the British like to say like someone's being very naughty. But
Naughty,
like,
yeah.
you don't
It's
hear
up there
it.
with sassy for them. And mental. You're
So
mental. Gervais is going back to doing the Golden Globes. One thing I love about show business is you could always say you're not going to do something and then do it. And there's nothing anyone can do about that. We're going to bring Kashmir in a little later, and he was just so great last night. I was really, really proud of him. He also was a guy who was our intern.
Yes.
You know? The other really... Oh, this is a bizarre thing. I didn't know Molly was there.
I had no idea. I found out this morning from Ron, but I had no idea Molly
So I go
was
to
at the Thanksgiving show.
I go to Molly. I go, holy what do you mean you and your dad were there? Did you have the passes? No. I go, does Chris even know you were at this show? And he goes like this, Chris gave me the tickets.
Yes.
This would be, Gail, for you, this would be like hearing Birdie was at the show. Now, if out of all the old interns, why not grab the one who's like, is an executive producer? When she was our intern, she was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah,
She would have been really, really fun for you. Plus, I love her dad.
Yeah, her
I
dad's
love her,
great.
and I would have liked to seen them.
I know. I apologize. That there was a problem with the list. I got them in because she had texted
You
me.
mean last minute?
Like last minute, there was a problem. Their name was on the list, but the people running the list apparently didn't have them on there. I had to take care of that. I got them in, but then as the show started,
But when did you know they were coming?
she let me know that she was coming like a month ago.
All right, I'm here every day. We have a meeting for a month. Why wouldn't I just hear that? Why wouldn't it just pop up somewhere? Earl, did you know?
No, I did not.
Okay, then you're fine. You may leave. Go, Earl. Go. I don't want you to hear any of this. Earl, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I might be going early on the coffee today. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just down with OPP. That's my problems.
You know me.
He's right in with a call and response. Man, there was so many people that were there last night that I even didn't get a chance to see. But my old friend Stacy was there with her parents.
Is that right?
And you may know her as the drummer of Apache.
Oh,
And I have not seen her.
original punk band. You haven't seen her since?
I have not seen her
since the Pocky breakup.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I wish I could have saw her, but she's so great and her folks are so great. I'm so glad they were there last night.
By the way, I like nothing better than a band breakup. Like the fact that after 100 years, David Crosby is not talking to the other guys in Crosby,
Right.
Stills, Nash and Young, and you're like, okay, there's only 4 people who knows what it was like to be in Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and play racetracks. Like they used to just like they're playing the Atlantic City racetrack.
Yeah.
It was like a traveling Woodstock. That's how big that band was. And now they're like, fuck that dude, and he's like, fuck them.
Our big problem was people going away to college became the issue with our big band breakup.
That breaks up a lot of bands, you know. I saw the thing with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and Benmont Tench was accepted to a really good school, and they were young. I mean, they were kids, and Petty's like, "No, dude, you're
Yeah.
not going to school. We're
Right.
going to have a fucking hit rock and roll band." Benmont's like, "Oh, my dad is a judge. He wants me to get my education." And Petty's like, "Let's go see your dad. I'm going to fucking tell him what you would be giving up." And he went over there as a kid and said to a judge, he's like, "Look, this is where your son's talent is." You know?
Yeah.
Not only that, but because of when that happened, he's now set himself up to be drafted in Vietnam. And he still fucking went with the band. Because when you were in college, you could get out and go into
Right,
Vietnam.
of course.
And Petty's like, "No, you can't. You're the fucking keyboard player for us, for Mudcrutch, all right?" And believe me, one day everybody will be talking about Mudcrutch. It's so funny when you see any of those guys talking like that way, because they'll be like, "I just knew I was going to fucking hit," but all the people who don't hit feel the same exact way. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like, "I know it. I feel it. This band is going to take off." I went last night. I couldn't sleep. I watched that Echo in the Canyons thing, which is about the canyon scene in the 1960s. But it's done by all these people today. I can't fucking believe how good that thing is.
Yeah.
It's just GPS,
It is.
but they got old clips, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing is so fantastic. It's like honestly one of the greatest scenes and one of our favorites that we did on GPS.
Absolutely.
too.
And I mean, I thought that the 60s scene wasn't even nearly as good as the 70s scene.
Yeah, because that thing only scratches the surface, really.
Well, those initial bands is what they
Yeah.
focused on. It was the Byrds.
Did they even get into Joni or no?
No?
Yeah, see, that's
Joni-
crazy to me.
Yeah, they really didn't focus on single acts. They focused on the groups. It was about the group scene to them. And they made the point that these were all kind of super groups, even though nobody knew it, because they all became big in other bands after the fact. But That scene was so fucking good. And when you see David Crosby, right? He's that documentary with him where it's like bad stuff about the other guys from Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But he goes back to the fucking canyon, back to the house that Graham, it was Joni Mitchell's house that Graham wrote Our House about. And it's just this fucking funky house that you would move into tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing still looks like the 60s. That was a cool ass scene. Maybe next year we can get a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young reunion.
Can we do it?
And remember when this came up and we were trying to say what was the... Well, what were you calling that day? The signature song for groups? And then I forget, somebody here made a debate that it was a different group with Neil. So there should be...
I did. Yeah.
David Crosby agrees with you 100%.
Yeah.
He goes, we should be back in as Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and I should be back in the Royal Hall of Fame for the third time because that band was different than Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I'm fucking watching this thing going, Gail made the same point.
Yeah.
I wish we would have got Crosby in the last time that he was here, though, because I would have told him exactly his shit. He sees a different Graham than we say, the way Graham, he feels like Graham won't talk to him.
I know, and like that to me, that's crazy, especially after the last time we spoke to Graham. Right?
Graham was in tears.
He really was. He was so emotional about it. It broke my heart.
All right, some bad news for you, Chris.
No.
Phone call coming in. You're gonna take this tough.
Hey, Chris in Levittown.
Hey, what's going on, Gail? Hey, Ron, how you doing? Condolences to you and your family. I also have condolences to Chris Stanley. I understand that Charlie from South Chris and Charlie had passed away this week.
Oh, God, no.
No, your favorite sandwich shop.
That's terrible.
Hopefully the Hokies will be as good as they were.
I'm going to have to go there now.
Seriously.
That's
you
really
haven't
sad.
been there in a while since you got this new girlfriend of yours who's trying to get you to cut down on carbs.
I need to increase carbs. That's my fucking plan. That's really sad. South Christian Charlie's greatest sandwich stop in Astoria, New York.
You were mocked by the Astoria comedians, so you don't even really consider to be real Astorians.
No, not at all. They're fucking transplants, Ron. Look, I'm born and raised in Astoria.
That's shocking.
You're like
it's shocking.
an Astoria historian.
Exactly.
To say what Chris just said and not be Greek is almost impossible. It's the same if he says I was born in Athens, Greece, and lived there my whole life. Are you Greek? Nope.
Nuh-uh. Not Greek at all.
I mean, your people were transplants too, Chris. Let's not forget that.
That's true.
We were all immigrants at one time, except for my family, who are Native Americans. I'm 100%.
100%?
Apache. Apache.
That's impressive.
And a lot of people see us as a warlike tribe. It's not true. But I'll say this. If you fuck with us, if you fuck with the Apache Nation, it's on, bro.
They take no shit, that's for sure.
We take no shit. You're half Apache.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, you're not even Apache. To me, you got to be 100%. We were Western. You know what I mean? It was a different time. It was the 1700s. You know?
It's a long time.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know this. We made our arrowheads out of stone. We didn't even use metal. Wouldn't use metal. We said that was pussy.
That's an old Apache quote.
Well, I heard this from my grandfather when it came to arrowheads. My grandfather said to me, make it stone or leave it alone. And that always stuck to me.
It helps because it has a little rhyme to remind you.
You know, until you said that, I didn't even realize that was a rhyme. But yeah,
it definitely is.
Now I know why it was so easy to remember.
Yeah.
Then the other thing my grandfather said to me, and this was around the fire, he said that he was down with OPP. And I go, what does that stand for? He goes, others PP. By the way, Chippa was hilarious last night, wasn't he?
So funny.
Hilarious.
It's my first time meeting Chippa in person.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a very exciting moment.
Now, Chris got Claire because, and I'm sorry, I don't know Claire's last
Claire
name.
Parker.
Claire Parker. That should be easy to remember. Because she does, Norton Show and all that a lot, and she does a lot of shows. She had never met Chip. So before this was coming out, she was going like, I have never met Chip, so I don't know what's going on there. And I go, well, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's going to be really
strange.
Yeah, stay on your toes. Don't find yourself daydreaming. There was a thing where Chip was reading the because we just went old school dating game stuff. And I think Fezzy helped with that, right? Was Fezzy on that? Or
Match game. He helped.
yeah, match game. So, because I don't know how all those old things work. They're all confusing to me. But there was a thing where Chip was supposed to read Time Machine and read it as Tin Machine. Now, you guys familiar with Tin Machine when Bowie was just like, I'm stopping my...
Yeah.
All right, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the trivia question. No Googling, okay?
No Google.
There were two brothers. Now, Earl, you got it easy, so shut your pie, okay? I already know. You're the winner. You're the best.
That's why I got my hands up.
There were two brothers in that band who were the sons of a famous comedian.
Okay, hold on. Two brothers who are the sons of a famous comedian.
And Earl, you know who I'm talking about or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who's the comedian?
Milton Berle.
Right era.
Fuck.
I was going to say Charlie Chaplin.
No, that's Una Chaplin.
Who is...
Shecky Green?
No.
I have no idea. Who is it?
Soupy Sales' sons.
No, you're kidding me.
No.
That's so
Soupy
weird.
Sales' sons were in that band. Are you a Tin Machine fan?
Major Tin Machine fan.
Do you ever see a band that had a superstar in it that got as much backlash as Tin Machine did from the critics?
I don't know why, because the music was fantastic.
No, why
I think
did
it's
they get
because it was
backlash?
Soupy Sales' son. Well, it was a real step away from Bowie style music.
Right.
Bowie, you know him. He liked to do stuff different, you know?
Well,
The
the-
Thin White Duke.
Yeah, the crazy part was they were also the main band on the Lust for Life album by Iggy Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a familiarity there.
And then did Bowie produce Lust for Life?
Yes, he did. That's
Thank
how we
you.
knew him.
I was at an Iggy Pop show in the 70s and everybody kept saying Bowie was there and was coming out. And I didn't even fucking enjoy the show because I kept looking around for Bowie to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was at a Mata Hoople show and there was a guy in the balcony, like in the Lincoln seats, with green hair. And everyone was like, that's fucking Bowie, man. He's fucking coming down for all the young dudes. I just kept looking up, and missed the fucking show. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that Apache, we're constantly looking around for... Well, we sometimes would call them animal clues. Like if we were tracking an animal, we say, let's look for animal clues. That's an Apache term. So we would look for a piece of fur,
Okay.
or some shit, or a hoof print of any kind.
Could you, if you saw animal shit, could you tell by looking at the shit which animal it...
Not by looking, by smell and taste.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of times it'd be like this. That's human. That's human shit. And then we would know if another tribe was around. You know?
It makes a lot of sense.
How could you tell?
It wasn't our shit. It definitely was not our shit. Our shit was different colors, you know? Each tribe would have different colored shit.
God, I feel like I'm learning so much about my own family history.
And you know what animal has the worst shit of all?
What?
Man. The most dangerous animal of all.
Most dangerous shits.
Yes, you're right about that, Chris. That's very observant of you. Very, very observant.
I feel like I'm almost part Native American.
Each mammal shits. Know that.
Okay.
Remember it.
I'm going to write that down.
Live with it. Okay?
All right.
Wrap your head around it.
Each mammal shits.
Don't repeat it, though. Keep that, you know what I mean? You want to say it once, put it in your mind, and then let it go. Don't write it down.
That's not everyone's
All right.
beeswax.
I'm never going to say it again.
Interesting about beeswax. It's basically bee shit. You know? Yeah. Like a bee, if they could talk, was I gotta go take a wax. Well, I haven't had a wax in 3 days. Feeling terrible. Lethargic. So, most of this stuff, you know, you learn by living it. You know, you gotta learn it out there on the trail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can't just read it in a book. I know that.
Yeah. We didn't even know what books were. You know what we used to call mountains?
What's that?
Tall dogs. Because we didn't have a word for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Silly.
Because again, no, it wasn't silly, Chris, when you think about it. It's the smartest thing that was ever said. Because you look at a mountain, right? And what does it have? A tail, paws, tongue.
You know what? I never realized that before, but I'm not observant. Maybe that's, not raised Apache.
Right.
Maybe I didn't pick up on it.
And if you really think about it, I mean, if you break the word down, observant, right? Ob means nothing. So you move on from that.
Yeah.
Zerv.
Yeah.
Zerv is kind of, for us, it was like serve because we didn't have a word for that. Because in tennis, we would just start halfway through. Nobody even served.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Ant?
Game.
Ant?
No, you know what an ant is. Like a little insect.
Right.
Yeah.
Serve ant.
And oddly, we would call ants small dogs.
A lot of things you just thought were dogs.
You know, I never even thought of that until you just brought it up now. But yeah, we would relate because of the way the dog is.
Yeah.
You know, the dogs are basically what we would think of as soulful, right? Soulful. You know?
Soul. Full of soul.
Yes, full of soul. Just, I mean, they were like to us like ghosts, ghost in the machine, spirits in the material world, if you will, if that doesn't throw you off a little bit. But all that stuff is forgotten these days. And what with the internet and the fucking TikTok, kids are TikToking all the time.
They love it.
You know what TikTok was for us?
What?
What a clock did, right? You guys don't even know what a clock is because you're digital.
That's right.
Like you look up that. Do you even know what the hands on the clock are for?
No, I have
To
no
wave to you?
No. The small one is hours. The longer one, that's minutes, right?
Yeah.
And the red one is just a weird thing that spins around. It doesn't really have any connection
Why
to time
put it
at
there,
all.
I wonder?
But because you get tired of the two blacks when you can have a nice red spinning around. Makes it jump.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Earl's costume last night.
Earl was the lady in red last night.
Captain Red.
Captain Red. Red belly. You were unbelievable last night, Earl. He was on.
Yeah, he was.
He was in rare form.
Yeah, he was. You know who loved him? Naughty by Nature.
Oh, yeah.
They saw him. Everyone pointed and went, black guy. And I go, yep.
Yep.
And I go, he's down with my crew. He's part of the J crew. I was saying that because I just sparked up a doobie.
Yeah.
I go, the J crew's here. Love it. Love my weed.
Do you? Really? Smoke a lot?
Smoke constantly. Edibles. Big thing for me.
Didn't know that.
Drinkables. I
Oh,
like to
really?
drink weed, yeah.
Do you vape still? Because there's a lot of problems with the vape.
No. I don't vape at all. People who vape are fucking animals.
I wouldn't say that.
Homeless dogs.
I think vaping is totally.
I get a dog. Dog-related thing.
Well, that's soulful.
Yeah.
It's homeless soulful people.
He doesn't know how to relate to anything if it's not dog.
Dog-based society.
Dog is. I'm glad that you brought that up
Yeah.
because you know how many species are on the planet Earth? Every third species is a dog.
What?
Most people don't even realize
No,
that.
I had no
didn't.
idea.
And you would think, well, what about in the ocean? Ever hear of a dogfish, bitch?
My mind is blown.
Well, good for you. Yeah, you got to stop that vaping, man.
I don't think I have to. I think it's fine. The cigarettes are much worse. Okay? There's nothing wrong with vaping.
Let me just tell you something. Did you ever hear of anybody who looked cool vaping? And yet every single person smoking a cigarette looks fucking super cool.
Always cool.
Well, I can't disagree with that, of course. Yes, smoking looks cool. Everyone fucking knows it.
The day you stop smoking is the day you stop looking fucking cool. And when I see you vaping, I'm like, he might as well have a microscope. You know what I mean? He looks like a real fucking nerd.
Silly.
You have a lab coat on.
Yeah,
With this thing.
you should try to fucking discover something that helps people. You're like a dick.
Now, what happened? Like, I feel like the blues and the e-cigs, it like started it, but you don't really see those anymore, and it's all about like those.
Juul has crushed them all.
They're
And
gone.
Juul has like, I don't know, like 70% of the market or whatever. It's fucking
Because I used to
it's
I used to enjoy the blues.
Yeah, the blues was the breakout.
Yeah,
one.
it was. Yes.
Who was the
Steven Dorff?
Like Steven Dorff.
Yeah,
and then-
he liked them.
he was one of the first people we saw. No, he was the first we ever saw smoking a Juul, and we were like, "Dude, what is that? That's cool." And he's like, "Yeah, it's real cool, isn't it?" He goes, "I'm gonna send each of you a case." I go, "You are?" He goes, "Fuck yeah, man." See ya. Never heard from him. Never got a case of anything.
Fucking Steven Dorff.
You remember the first person that we saw smoking a vape was?
I do. I can't remember his name. It's the actor. He was in Great Balls of Fire.
Dennis
I was going to say.
Quaid.
It's Quaid is the name of that actor.
So he came in, we're like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You like this?" I didn't even think it was called a vape. I think he called it a sucky stick.
Something like, yeah, it was just a stick.
He goes, "Thanks to this, I quit smoking."
It's crazy.
And then he knew
No,
nothing
yeah.
about the movie that he was in, nothing about anything. All I know is he said, "I love young girls."
I used to like the blues and Logic.
The Logic was good.
And I've never tried a vape that had a better flavor than any of those other two.
The blues was really nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now, but no, just everything.
The problem
was-
with them, and this is why I think that they got their ass handed to them, is that you never knew how long it was going to last. Could last 2 days, could last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was just, it was like
There
a garbage product.
inconsistency. Yeah.
And then Pit Doc gave me a duffel bag full of old Chinese off-brand e-cigs.
Yeah.
And that's when your lungs went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then,
You got popcorn lung, I
yeah,
think.
one would last for 2 puffs, and one for a week. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. This fucking giant bag of mystery
It's like if you went out to get a sandwich and you didn't know whether it was going to be fucking packed or have nothing, no meat in it at all. I mean, imagine if Sal, Chris, and Charlie's tried to go in that
Oh
direction.
God, that's sad.
It really is sad, man, and I don't even know them. You only brought it in a couple times.
Yeah, that fucking place is beloved.
By the way, I promised Tracy sandwiches for life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fucking problem with her is she's like, we don't have our big giant lunches the way we used to.
I know. We used
We used
to
to have big major lunches all the time, and then you start losing weight.
Yep.
Yeah.
You found out you were allergic to carbohydrates?
Yeah, it's just like carbs are bad for me, even though I love eating them.
Eating them.
Eating them.
Eating them.
Eating them.
Eating them.
Earl, did you hear about Drake being booed at this fucking show?
Yes, I did.
I would have bought a ticket to that show just to see it.
So would I. Cause he's
I heard he
such a
took it
dick.
really bad, too.
Yeah, because everyone's always kissing his ass, and everyone, especially when it comes to the live show, and his fans.
Now,
are,
why did they boo him?
Because he was a last-minute swap out for Frank Ocean, and Frank Ocean was the big headliner, and everybody wanted to see Frank Ocean.
But no, it was like a surprise guest thing. It's like he wasn't that he was advertised, and a rumor went around Frank Ocean was going to be the surprise guest, and then Drake comes out and they started booing.
God, that's crazy.
Fucking great,
It's
though.
so funny.
Make some noise for yourself tonight. You know, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight.
No, I heard one woman just go, no.
It's been love. I love y'all. I go by the name of Drake. Thank you for having me.
So after saying I will keep going, and they said no, he just says like, bye.
Wow.
I'll go back to fucking Toronto with the Raptors, who are doing surprisingly well
Yeah.
this year.
He's such a giant douche. It's fucking great.
You don't like him at all?
I fucking really dislike Drake. Really think he's
He's
an
got a very
fucking
unlikable
jerk-off.
vibe. That's
Yeah.
the thing about that dude.
unlikable personality. Fucking
Some
weird
guys
shit.
have that, you know?
Yeah.
Drake's got it in fucking spades.
It's like, call me on my cell phone.
I mean, that song's pretty good, right, guys? That dance he did?
Oh, the dance was great. Fucking meme.
Mr. Red Apple said, I heard the Black Earl wore a red shirt and a MAGA hat to the Thanksgiving show. I hope that's not true. Well, it is true, bro.
He insisted on the MAGA hat.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That wasn't even part of the costume.
No, like, this is a bold choice.
That was just from home.
Awful.
I used to go on the phone. Look, it is Steve in New Jersey.
Hey, Steve.
What's bothering you now, Steve?
How's it going?
Great show last night. Really great. I got a couple things. First, Ron, I mentioned this to you last night when I saw you. Two of my favorite things that you have ever said to people having to do with deaths in their family. When someone will say, hey, I lost my father, and you say, oh, I'm sorry, did you check behind the refrigerator? One of my favorites. I always think I'm going to say that to someone, and then I check it out at the end. And the other was, one time, you and Vito and Chris were talking about something. Somebody else mentioned they had a father who passed away, and you said, yeah, well, welcome to the Dead Dad Club. And I can't remember who it was, but it was funny. Anyway, great show last night. Chris was walking around with plumber's crack all night in filthy pants. I'm hoping by the next show he gets a belt or something.
I do have a belt.
That would be great. All right, I think it's broken.
Steve's odd. It's not even his real name.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
I heard that. I heard him say that. I was shocked.
Yeah. I think it's a smart move.
You know, Gail's not my real name. So.
It's not even a real name.
No.
Plus, it's a name that people get completely wrong when they try to spell it.
They spell it wrong.
All the
almost
time.
Every time.
It's not like you run into people who smell with the other spelling either.
I know, and people throw the Y in there a lot, and why are you trying to make it more complex than it has to be?
Doesn't need to be.
It's a much simpler thing. And then they spell it Gale, and you're like, now that's too simple.
Earl, I'm going to put you in for a coffee run, or I'm going to lay down and go to sleep. It's up to you.
Those are the options.
I'm going to let you fucking decide. You know how hard it is not to get like a fucking French roll or something with this?
I know. That place has great pastries, too.
I know, all their fucking pastries is great. But Chris is right. Carbs are a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn carbs.
Chris, I got a little... You want one, G?
Yeah, I do.
I got a little trivia for this, right?
Okay.
When you say carbs, that's actually short for carbohydrates. Nobody seems to know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was short for carbo load.
Well, that's carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Oh,
like if you would have
got
said
it.
carburetor, I would have like, fuck, that's quick, dude. Johnny Gogo brought up just how quick everybody was last night. You take a guy like fucking Big J, we almost take that for granted.
I know. And honestly, that's how we talked about it too, because every year we have him do something, and we're like, "Well, Jay will be there, and he'll crush," and then you know what I mean? Like you just are like,
yeah.
So you'll just come up with really fast comedy on the fly and kill everybody and just do your thing. Great. What else should we do?
I would say that Jay is the Allen Iverson of fucking comedy.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. Is he going to get a championship? Hope so. It's been a while, though. Is there a window open, Vito, the way you're dressed right now? You got a hat and a hoodie on.
It's really cold in the booth, and there's no there's no way to change the temperature in here.
Now, I've always
You mean
heard
the
from
fart
Chris
box?
that the booth is the hottest place there is.
I always got really hot in there.
Yeah, but it depends on the temperature outside. Our office and this booth both have no effect on it's.
Hey, the office, the heat's broken in the office. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Fix it, man. We fucking pay rent here. Call down.
Yeah,
What
call
is it?
facilities.
There's the word. I was going to say call
Maintenance?
Yeah, but I didn't know what the word was. I was just going to make up a word.
I'm going to call my super Radu to come over and fix it.
Radu can do
First of all,
anything.
Rad Dude is not your fucking super.
Radu.
His Rad
Greg's-
Dude cast is
That's
super.
That's fucking Greg Stone's fucking opportunities. You used to call me on your cell phone. I wish fucking. All right. I guess we ought to break now.
Yeah.
Bennington will be right back.